Hi everybody, hello and welcome back to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie. Hello, how are you? Are you well? So, here we are with another Thursday. Can you believe it? It's Thursday already. Happy Thursday to everybody. And I'm just popping in my AirPods because they were not connecting. So, what have we got in store for you today? Another card. Minor Arcana. Hi Zoe, hello. How are you? Here, Maya. That's all I need, isn't it? Hi. So, um, we've got another card for you today. And hello, hi Carla, hi Zoe. How are you? Are you well? How are you getting on? Have you had a good week? Hopefully, yes. Okay. Right, so let's give people a little chance to join us. And that's probably why my headset's not playing ball with me. Okay, so yeah, chance for you to join us. Oh, good, we've got some people coming in. This is fabulous. So let's give it another minute and then we'll get cracking. So we're in for a treat tonight. Or may not be the case. A difficult card, a really difficult card for people. But you know what? It's completely about... Oh, hi! Hello, Suzanne. Hi from Arizona in the USA. Hello, warm welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing? Lovely to have you along. Come on, everybody, let's say hi. I don't think we have actually had the pleasure of saying hi to you before. Maybe you've been watching and, sorry, just get my water ready because it's going to be a long one. Okay, so I'm going to jump in and as you can see above my head, if you do want to find out about the courses on my website, yeah, it's tarotwithanemarie.com. So let's get rid of that for now. There you go, look at that. Nice warm welcome from Carla. And hopefully we'll have the passionate Saji joining us and we've got Zoe P. Hopefully. Oh, so nice. You see, that's so friendly. My lot are so lovely and friendly. You're very welcome. So, your name is Hope. Hope Suzanne. Gosh, that's brilliant. What a beautiful name, Hope. Wow. Okay, so from Phoenix, Arizona in the USA, where the desert is, yeah, and the cactuses. I love that. As yeah, it's both beautiful parts of your name, both Hope and Suzanne. So we'll get cracking. So, I'm Tarot with Anne-Marie, everybody, and I believe that there is a strategic element to tarot that's often overlooked. And that's why I've got a system that focuses on working with cards 1 week to teach you that card and card pairings. And I also do a very special spread that kind of gives deeper meanings and a bigger reading. So, if you've already got a strategy for your tarot in practice, you know what? Just add every little bit of nuance that you possibly can. So tonight this is Learn One Card Tarot, and this series is all about approaching how to uncover what the meaning of each card is. So if you need any more, you know where to go. Check out the courses on my website, tarotwithanemarie.com, and you're more than welcome to jump in and discuss this card with us, but we'll save that link for a little bit later. Let's jump in with this card to begin with. So here we are. Right, everybody. So, Five of Swords. And Five of Swords pictures 3 men. And 2 of them are walking away from the one who is left that's holding 3 of the 5 swords that we see in that picture. The clouds are grey, but that sky is blue. And that shows that this is a scene where the fight's not yet over. The storm's clearing and we are shown the aftermath, showing that events were not successful. Now, ego has won the day here, ultimately bringing failure. More trouble is yet to come. And in the background, the mountains show problems on the horizon. And everyone in this card is facing their directions and their decisions. But if we look, the mountains are showing that everyone's having a quick look at what's there. Right, okay. Hello, passionate Saji. How are you? Right. You okay, my lovely? Yeah? Wonderful. Okay, we've not got a moderator on Facebook, have we? Not to worry if we have. We've got somebody on there that always does this. Never mind. Okay, so the mountains show that there's problems there, and they're all aware of that tension and that situation, and it's going to cause the future to change based now on the present, even if not one of them doesn't seem to care. The sea is rippling and there's no waves, just undercurrents. And that's pushing the deep ocean emotions about, showing the discontent that is present. So there are three men that are all taking different roles in their arguments about their situation that they're finding themselves in right now. And they've battled with verbal and mental sparring, and they're now feeling the results. So 5 of Swords in this image is showing a couple of people who's already started to walk away from this scene. They've either abandoned their swords or they've taken them, or it's been taken from them by this victor, and the opinions are being still flagged out. They have accepted defeat though, so they're refusing to play or unable to play or compete with this other character. And so the men in the background who are lying on the ground there, they've got their swords lying on the ground, and they're trying to conquer what's there in front of them. But the man that's furthest away is standing with his head in his hands, showing signs of despair. Hi, Morjali. Hi, how are you doing? There you go. Hello. Yeah. This funny old card that we're doing, it's a complicated card that I am going to actually say, whoops. Sorry, I am going to be dropping my glass on the floor. So the man farthest away is standing there with his head in his hands, and that sort of signals a sign of despair, doesn't it? In the original card of the Rider-Waites, he's dressed completely in yellow, and here we've got one of those almost originals. This is the big Rider-Waite deck. And yellow is an intellectual colour, so his view may have been single-minded and unbendable. Now, the universal Rider-Waite deck can also show this man in a brown tunic, with the darker side in darker brown and wearing yellow boots. So it depends on which deck you're using. But here, we're being told that this situation is down to earth because of the shades of brown that's going on in this card, and one's suggesting shadow, and it's showing that things have not been clear in the approach, and a person who may have had the ability to mentally spar with an opponent feels very lost on a personal level. So his sword is representing his honest or opinionated view, and they may have all been in negotiation many times. The other man that's standing with his back, that's pondering his next move. So this is a guy that's looking at his predicament, and he may be even considered to be turning round to stand, stand his ground in some way. If you look closely, he's got green yellow and orange clothes. You've got to look really closely to see that, but that's exactly what that is. Sort of greenish sort of sleeves there, left arm. We can see one green sleeve on the left arm. So his part in this argument was, like the other man, quite down to earth. That's symbolic of being down to earth. And green sometimes is gentle and caring, and yet practical. It's earthy. Okay. So, do say hi, everybody, if you're there. We've got Zoe, we've got Passionate Sag, we've got Maud Ali, we've got Hope Suzanne, Kyla Candle, Zoe P, and yeah, I'm sure we've got a few people in from Twitch if you're watching from Twitch. Nobody on there today at the moment so far. Everyone seems to be on the YouTube channel, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we've got someone on my Facebook page as well. I think that's Mortali. Okay, so on his right shoulder, the character that I said with the green sleeve there, he's got an orange cloak, and that shows he would have been enthusiastic. Orange is a colour of enthusiasm. So he may have been enthusiastic about what he felt, yet he may not have been as confident as he needed to be with it just draped over one shoulder. His hair is dark, which shows maturity and an experienced person. Sometimes we see it as blonde, and that can mean that it's a little less mature, but a very sincere energy. And his clothes differ, with that brown sort of cloak with orange tights and a belt and grey boots. So it depends which deck you're actually looking at. Yet he still shows himself to be down to earth, that's those colours, and open with his views and his opinions. And they don't seek to band together this lot, do they? They're not comforting each other. And so it's fueled by ego and not in a position to support each other, perhaps out of their own shock. So the man in the foreground has passion with his brown boots, orange in some versions. Look at his red tights and his red shirt. He's someone who will talk with drive and enthusiasm for what he wants, and each step he takes out of determination, firmly grounded in his beliefs. However, there's a green tunic again over the top of his red garments, and that shows he seeks merit in his aims. He feels his potential. He wants to grow. And all that red will make him take action out of desire rather than the consideration. So he's much more driven and determined and able to shout louder than the others, and much more dominant and a brash personality. Now the wind's blowing his red hair out of his face, so the others can actually see a situation of who they're dealing with. So, you know, they can see the face, it's visible. And there may be a shock as the winds of change blow his hair harshly away and showing that expression. Right now it looks very smug. And he's the bringer of the storm that we can see in the actual background behind. And he owns the stage that the scene is set upon. So again, Passionate Saji and I have discussed this in the past. There are a lot of cards in the Rider-Waite Smith deck or the Rider-Waite deck. There are so many different versions, depends which one you're looking at. That is a stage card, and his mind is full of fiery ambition for his own dominance. Now look at that card and let's just see. We can see the character there. We've got two swords on the floor. We've got two figures in the background. We've got the main figure standing there holding two swords over her shoulder and one down to the ground. Look at where the sea or the ocean is, and you'll see two lines, almost as if somebody's pulled down, you know, like a green screen, to bring it down, how they do in the theatre, to set the stage. So we'll come back to that in a little while, but just want you to take notice that that's there, and that might come up in your reading one day. You know, all this stuff, don't think, oh, I've got to say all of this. Of course not. It's what applies, or something here might make you actually feel, when this card comes up, that you'll have an awful lot of forewarned, forearmed, as it were. So in some versions of this deck, his hair is strawberry blonde, symbolizing him as young and therefore quite immature. He's holding 3 of the swords, like I mentioned, and he holds on to that, like the pain and the loss of the 3 of swords that we met earlier. And yet, it's his pain, but I don't think he really sees it. He's acting it out. So holding 2 of the swords over his left shoulder, he shows that he feels his opinion is the right one or the correct one, and that they, the others, are wrong. So the sword that he's holding to the ground is in his right hand, and that's an emotional element. So right or wrong, he deeply feels his sense of conviction. He is smiling, feeling confident that he has won, whatever the battle was, and he's defending his opinion and his pride. Yet he's attempting to communicate with just the ego and bullying. So this is a complex card, and we're going to keep talking, and I want you to jump to new conclusions till we've kind of just gone through it all, and then you can ask me anything you want. So his smile now is at the expense of the other's upset, showing that he's smug and self-righteous in his expression. His shoulder, if you look at it, is slightly raised in a shrug, as if to minimize their shock and disappointment, as if he's right, superior. He might even be feigning a bit of sympathy, but he's detached from his actions, believing the best man has won. He does not mind that he's hurt others to get what he wants, and that he's been right and victorious in all that matters to him. He's often referred to as being a poor sportsman. And like a spoilt child, he takes what he wants and he'll fight with others. I'm going to fight you, I want to beat you, and shout until others back down. However, the others have turned away from him, abandoning their swords, which represents their wisdom, their beliefs, their thoughts, and their expressions, and they're facing the ocean and the mountains in the background. So by turning their backs on him, they show they no longer wish to do things his way. But he has won. They're tired of fighting, and the only outcome that can be is one of failure or defeat. And the lone man that's holding the sword has the victory, but at what price? And his victory is very hollow. He's pushed the others away due to his presumption that he holds all the swords, and he's far better equipped to hold that position of authority, regardless of the expertise that the others may or may not possess. So this man, although he appears victorious, has lost the fight, and he's achieved his position by going against the view of the others and using force. Right, okay. Mort, don't be scammed by someone calling themselves a tarot reader. So sorry about that, folks. This is, I'm linked to you. Have a reading, my dear. We all know exactly what these scammers are like. I'm not even putting it on my screen. I wish I could just ban it, but there is nothing I can actually do from my end while I'm actually doing this. So terribly sorry about that. Right. So this guy, his ego has ruled the situation, and he's intimidated the others into submission. yet he's not gained their respect, because the remaining 2 swords, if used, could create a temporary truce, but they've given up. Look, there's no reconciliation, they've walked away, because they realise there's no hope. Being on the floor, by the way, the 2 swords on the floor represents uneasiness. There's no balance within the 2 of swords. The situation's kind of at a loss. And so if you get this card, don't panic, okay? Just know, hear me out. Okay, I don't want to keep coming in and saying the same thing 20 times, so just follow me for a while. So if you're the holder of the swords in this card, so if you're the one that's doing this, and I doubt, that any of us do it deliberately, but we can be faced with having to defend ourselves because we don't know what's happened here. We might be going, oh, he's horrible, who wants to be around that? I'm not like that. Hold on a minute. What if you've been pushed to that? What if they're the bullies? We don't know. Remember I said to you, it's a stage card. But more importantly, it's swords. And swords is how we are processing our own thinking and our communication. So there is nothing physical in what I'm saying. This is all psychological, okay? So don't think, oh, somebody's coming up here and they're fighting me with fisticuffs. It's swords, the suit of swords. The fight is verbal and honestly, can anybody get rid of Brad Wolf? He is so vulgar. Just go away. Honestly, seriously, such revolting comments to people that are here trying to learn something. This is the danger, isn't it? You get such people. So, Brad Wolf would probably be someone, yeah, I'll make you a mud. I don't know how to do that. Tony, Onda, I've got somebody that can really stop such vulgar, nasty comments. It's very inappropriate. And yeah, this person just continues to kind of ask for sort of suggestive, incorrect things. This is tarot. It's not sort of a pickup joint. Okay. So the holder of the swords in this card are equally the one that could be defeated. You see, you might actually have been left with no choice. Whichever role you're playing, no one can really win this game because the one that's actually the perpetrator or the bully is losing because no one's listening to each other now. Remember, this is a mock battle of communication or thought process. Yeah. And nobody, we're not putting them up on the screen. Just totally inappropriate and derogatory to women. So, and you know how many times I've banned that person? I cannot tell you. They keep coming back and I don't know how they get through. It's on my Facebook page. No problem. I will turn around and no, it's fine as long as it's not coming up on my stream. That's all. So we can ignore that, everybody. There's an example of 5 of Swords. Somebody turning around and trying to actually intimidate by verbal comments. Perfect example. So thanks for that, Brad. But I'm not showing them what you're saying because it's vulgar. Anyway, and you act like a child. So I want you to know that number 5 is always about truth, but it's analytical and it's disruptive. And it's all about communication. I've got a Facebook page, and for somebody that's following me to say such nasty things, yeah, stupid smug comments about sort of, well, never mind. It's not even about tarot. It's just vulgar towards women. So not giving them the time of day. Yeah, Oh, well, bless you, my darling. Oh, I hope Suzanne. That's so nice. Thank you. Unfortunately, this person I multi-stream to my Facebook page, which is my business page. It's the front of my shop. It's a bit difficult. So I'm so sorry. Yeah. No problem. We'll get it sorted. It's just has been, and we're also being scammed, and he's been scammed by someone else. Oh my gosh. Facebook. Perhaps we won't streaming there next week. Right. So this is a message to pick your battles and consider the consequences of actions and words. So mutual respect is needed, and you do not need to know everything. Your opinion is not the only one, and nor should others presume it's theirs either. All right? So arguments can get out of control, and words are best left unspoken because situations can become heated and fail as people reveal their true colours, resentments, disagreements, and words are best left unspoken. And so try and see the bigger picture and move stubborn pride out of the way, even if you feel justified that you need to air your opinion or your views. So this is kind of there's nobody going to win this, but this is life. You know, we have conflict, we have disagreement, but although this looks horrible, it's trying to say that words and communication, honestly, oh, thanks a million, Hope Suzanne. We will. And my hubby's just been in to say to me he cannot do anything about it because it's just not letting him. But no problem, it's distracting, you know. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you lot know, but I kept seeing it and you must have kept it. I know it's annoying and I'd like a vote on this. I've got the click, 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 so you can hear that there's a message coming in, because otherwise I'm giving this talk and I don't want to ignore you, and it makes me look up. But if it's really annoying, I might not see your comments, but I can get rid of it. So let me know what you want me to do. All right. So, Five of Swords. 5 in all the suits of tarot is never easy. It's about disrupting things. Okay. Numerology, you know, it's you're at that middle stage between 1 and 9. And I know we've got 10 in tarot, but in numerology, we always bring it down to a single number. So the 5 of Swords just indicates that people are upset because of words, beliefs, actions, left with feelings of hurt by intimidation and humiliation. And people can turn against each other, but this is the mental process. So we've got 4 suits in total, haven't we? So we've got the cups, and we've got the wands, and we've got the pentacles. And when we get to 5, we've also got this kind of mock battle, but this is because we're with the swords. It's all to do with communication and all to do with how we're processing. Oh, you're wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I love that. Bless you. Right. So, people can be turned against each other due to opinions and presumptions that one person has got the right to steamroll over others. And here is where enemies can be created, you know, due to the lack of unity that can go on between us in a situation, an individual or even a group. We go to war for power, and it tries to erupt, bringing arguments, resentment and disagreements. So this is a card that's showing, you know, that all sides can disagree and no one's prepared to put their view aside and listen to the other person. And one person on one side can dominate and not relinquish the control of power. They'll succeed with a lack of honour and principle at the expense of other people. So the Five of Swords is informing us that stubborn pride won't achieve anything, and defeat and failure only is the outcome of this card. But it's a part of life, and it's coming up, and it can have an effect upon how you're thinking and how you're perceiving things. So the phrase that we get, cutting off your nose to spite your face, can be used for this card, because it's about hurting and being in a certain situation where we're harming ourselves in the process because we're trying to soothe our fears. And sometimes we're provoked. You can't just stand there all the time and kind of be the one. Well, I've got a question for you. Five Swords, how many people? 3. Where's the other 2? We don't know. So circumstances here can go around in circles, can't it? And we won't achieve anything by limiting ourselves. But what I want you to understand is, when I'm doing this card, please do not think that we're saying this is applying to you. We're learning about this card. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more than I normally would, because this is a tricky card. And if you get it wrong, you're not going to feel great, and the person receiving a reading from you is probably not going to feel great, because we don't want to get it wrong. And people say, oh, I'm going to take them out. No, you've just got to know everything about it, and then you'll pluck it out and find out where it comes up. And do you think I deliver this? This card's coming up for me 4 or 5 times a day with clients as I'm reading for them. But it's usually to do with the fact that they've listened to gossip or something like that. And it's not actually them, it's the background effects. Gossips at work, gossip in HR, gossip in the community, gossip in their religious beliefs, when they go to the temple or church or whatever it is where they worship. Communities can turn around and go, I think, I'm going to take offence at that. So, yeah, it's usually, and you're just going to go down right straight up. But it's also, you've got to turn around and make sure that you are not a doormat either. And this can happen in life, and we cannot accept others sometimes when they are looking at coming at us for our beliefs, maybe our skin colour, maybe our sexuality or gender, or anything that's different from what they are. And that happens in work and school and family and relationships and bullies, neighbours, you name it. But if you're the one holding the swords, it might be because you've been forced to, because you just can't keep. You might have just snatched the swords away from the bullies. We don't know what happened before this. Don't presume it's him, and he may be going, I know it looks like that, but we're setting it up to make you think with this card. You might be the one that's walking away from the fight and understand you can't win. And arrogance isn't going to solve anything. But the Five of Swords can say, oh, you've got to watch your back and be on your guard against the actions of others. And you can be made a scapegoat. We all can. Trouble will always be laid at the door when, why do the fives happen? Does anybody know? Usually it's because when we start off and it's just one thing, like an ace, it's a new beginning. So there's no history, totally naive, nothing's gone wrong yet. It's a clean piece of paper. And then we get to number 2, we start pairing, and we start actually using duality. One person plus the other person, fine, starts to work. Then we get creative in number 3. Oh, bless you. Yeah. Tarot with Anne-Marie. I'll do it, okay? Vibes are always about change, but the change is disruptive. Okay, so we've got, you're getting it several times now, sorry my darling, yeah, it's disruption. So 3 is creative, you see. We're starting to create, we're all starting to blend together. And then we start to consolidate, 4. Now imagine you've got a tent, you've got 4 pegs. It's going to hold it up. Then 5 suddenly starts getting a little bit like, you know, we're now deciding to challenge, disrupt, displace, dismantle. Absolutely what it's all about. And I could go in and sort this thing sort of out on Facebook. Why should we? You know, just making you aware. Got an example of somebody playing communication tricks, scamming. That's what that is, you know. And also being vulgar towards females, you know, inappropriate comments. So perfect example, actually. This guy's been at it for 3 years and I keep banning him, but there you go. Never mind, he's not doing anything at the moment. Thanks, my darling. Hope, Suzanne. Right. So 5 of Swords can be about the force within a relationship where there can be selfishness or dominance or control, but it's never as obvious as, oh, why are you with somebody so controlling? Look, it happens, doesn't it? And it's usually someone that we're fond of to begin with. So it can actually be that the aggression is just about wanting to take control out of anger or frustration or an unfair decision or an accusation that's made. And this can be embarrassing, humiliating, and be done out of spite by others who want to dominate the situation. It can be dishonourable, unfair, and lead to feelings of shame. So when this card turns up, you've probably had something of a falling out or a disagreement or conflict, or you've been around it. Now, again, just bear with me, because this card coming up, if I was reading for you, let's say, please do not assume the way that I read that I'd be saying this about you if you were the querent. All right? I'm going to talk about that in a little while. So don't assume that we're talking as in you. Somewhere in the spread, it could be work, influences at home, the partner, the family, a neighbourhood, the religious beliefs, the spiritual beliefs, the background effects from the past, best friend, friendships, you know, even maybe within our political sort of side of things, our social standing, could be with HR, could be with your boss. The spread I use will tell me who that is. And you can learn that too. It's all on tarot with annemarie.com and the courses. And where you will meet that is in the intermediate course and the advanced. But no point doing that if you can't do your ABC first. And so I get a chance to tell people the 30 years of, this has been my career, to share it with you and just kind of say, right, why did I make the courses? Why did I do this? Simply because there was a need for it. One-to-ones don't work. Online works perfectly, and so does video. Absolutely right. Passionate Saji is saying conflicts with others. Absolutely. You know, it can be with your brother, it can be with your mother, it can be, you know, with, well, even sometimes, you know, we can be in a position to actually be in a mock battle. And I would always call it that. But this is a mock battle of the communication or the thought process. So we can actually end up going, right, I'm really hurt and I'm really resentful, I'm really upset by all these heated words. And thank you so much. We will. Thank you so much. You know, I put so much into this and you get somebody turning around and, never mind. Thank you. What a star. You know, I hope Suzanne, um, as soon as I get off, um, we'll make you a moderator on YouTube. Just if ever you're on, you've got that, because Passionate Saji has to work, Zoe has to work. Oh, bless you. Yeah, I am very deep. I go very nuanced. I'm not expecting you to, but you can take what you want, can't you? And you can come back to it. You see, I collate information because I've got Scorpio rising, and therefore, dig, 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 dig. I want to know more, deeper, 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 deeper. Well, I got all this, and needed to know what to do with that. So, quite honestly, you know, I ran sort of so many different projects with the tarot. We've done a deck of cards, we've had a platform. Gosh, that's been running since 2007. I'm no longer with that platform and left them to it. But yeah, I taught a lot of the readers that work for me. I taught a lot of readers that's gone on to actually run their own business. That's in all the social medias, or the some working hometowns and my body, spirit, soul exhibitions. So yeah, this is a card where it can be bad blood and general ickiness. And I hope, Suzanne, just so you know, this is a series of 78 cards. I do this one card every Thursday, and Tuesdays I will be doing this card with a major arcana. So tonight I'm giving you everything I know about this card that I think would be interesting. I know a load more, but I pulled the best of it out that I think is worth it, and what I feel have seen in readings over the years. And don't forget, I work every day, so that's a lot of readings, folks. And yeah, it's a lot of cards. So yeah, this comes out, but it doesn't mean there's always, the perpetrator or the criminal or whatever. It's normally, we're hurt, fallout. My sister-in-law, why? Why are they ganging up on me? Why are they doing this? And you know what? Don't think it doesn't happen to you, because it does. I can tell you, even at shows in the past, I'd get people coming up to me, kind of going, "Who are you then?" "Hello, yeah. Do you know who I am?" And it was like they were marking their territory. Oh dear. No. Yeah, that's our fellow saying he's not yet banned. Anyway, just still another comment. So yeah, this can lead to bad blood and general ickiness, but just for Hope, Suzanne, I'm just saying, whenever you can. I also then try and I'm trying to make sure that the recordings are the highlights, not highlights as in stripped, but the conversations perhaps that others watching may not care to watch when it's not alive. So try and strip it down a little bit so you're able to do that. And I'm putting the playlist together right now, as much as we possibly can. So yeah, it's going to be really in depth, and that's what I'm about. I know other people do short and sweet, and this is an awful lot of information. It shouldn't be wasted. Take what you want from it and leave what you don't need. So this is a battle, isn't it? A mock battle. And you need to decide whether the point of view is so important when we're in this mock battle. This mind game that we do to ourselves. They've upset me. And we've got to work out whether, we put that feeling into compromise, and whether we want to see eye to eye, or whether or not, sometimes the advice of this card is to pick your battles. And you might be tempted to fight every conflict to ensure that you get your way, to prove that you're right, or defend yourself, to feel challenged, or threatened even by, words and communication from others. But most experts agree that choosing your battles wisely is a much better way of life than engaging in every disagreement. not only will it lead to more of a peaceful existence, but your interpersonal relationships will definitely get stronger. So the Five of Swords can indicate that you're competing with others on the way to the path of success. So depends, how it's going, doesn't it? And this can be a threat, to your own happiness, because you are going, oh, I've got to win at any cost. But the Five of Swords can take its toll on a person, and we need to know when we're ready to go, actually, I'm wrong there, and make amends. No sense in justifying our behaviour by trampling over people, especially in careers. Five of Swords can point to a failure in us. It shows that despite our very best efforts, we're likely to be beaten or come out as the loser. Maybe we're the victim, maybe we're the perpetrator. Hold on. Okay, right, tell you what, let me show you this and I'll come back, all right? Alrighty, give me a chance to have a good old sip of water there. So don't worry, hope Suzanne. When you're a moderator, as in, we'll just give you a little, I'll do it. And if ever you come on, you'll see there's a little spanner. And all it does is just says you can moderate and just ban them for that particular session or permanently. And yeah. You are a really level-headed person. I'm really grateful for your beautiful comments to me tonight. I've never had such a really nice, such a compliment to actually say that you've not heard that. It means the world to me, because that's why I want to be doing this, because I feel that we are just getting, oh, I'll give you a tip, I'll give you a nugget. I can do that. But what about the fact that we'll get there? Everyone's saying we'll get it sorted. Don't worry. And thank you so much for being concerned. And honestly, I just hope nobody sees it. That's my thing of, oh, can others read what he's saying? That's all that I'm bothered about what he's saying. It just shows how juvenile comments towards women are not impressed by such talk. So, when we get the Five of Swords, and whether it's career, work or finances, the five is always telling us we're moving into competitive, dog-eat-dog sort of type environments. And people, including us, may engage in power plays and politics. And, it's like win or lose lose. There can be tension and conflict and, feelings and thoughts are running high. And we're looking after our own interests and our own needs, because we're scared we're not going to succeed. And maybe if we're looking for work, this is a card saying, it's a competitive market. You're going to find it tough. So forewarned, forearmed. If I got that, I'd go, gosh, if I'm looking for work and this is what I'm up against, I've got to cast my net wider. I've got to turn around and go, this might not happen the first time round, I've done that so many times where I've actually been in a position of going, I want to go here, it's not happening, so I've got to do that and that and that instead. Do you need to, don't you, to make it happen? And gosh, I had a mighty old time doing something that was really new to me, and I loved it. I like wearing different hats. Okay, in a financial reading, this can suggest conflict over our economic, financial affairs, and it might be like, we might be battling with an ex over possessions or finances, even ex-flatmates. It doesn't always have to be that we are dealing with, the ex relationship, i.e. in a romantic sense, it's just not being able to agree on an outcome. Okay, there are certain personality types in the Five of Swords, and they can be highly ambitious, competitive, and focused on winning at all costs. And you'd spot them, and they would place their needs before anyone else, and they'll fight for what they want. And so this is someone... Dog's barking, 1 minute. So the 5 is someone that's playing a political game masterfully, but will lose out on having no friends and having no colleagues along the way, because nobody wants somebody. They do. They want mama, and mama's having fun talking here. Okay. Yeah, that's bad. Just kind of, there's tortoises in the garden, and it's that time of year where you can hear that they're rustling along, and it's kind of telling them, they're not in my garden, they're on the other side, you know, like the fence. Sorry. Danny will try and stop them for a minute. I do want to join in. I do. Okay, so if you're looking for a relationship, it kind of shows that, you know, you've probably been through a bit of the mill with things, and, you know, they have probably been somebody that's, it's not been in your interest to stay with them, so you've walked away and felt maybe humiliated. But you know what? Don't be with somebody that's not right for you because you feel you've got to be with somebody, you know, and then you start going, oh, it's me, you know, maybe I'm too selfish, maybe I'm this. No, 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 no. You know, it shows that you need to be able to walk away from anything like that, you know, and correct your course, because you just need a different perspective, and you're just not vibrating on that frequency. There's no need to, yeah. So it's one of those things where I would actually say that there's all sorts of things that show that we're a struggle or a battle, but it's the mental suit of swords and the communication that's really what we need to actually focus on. And so, you know, just be the beautiful, soulful person that you are, and ask yourself, if you're caught up in conflict like this, don't say, oh, I don't know how I got into this. Unless you go and live like a hermit in the wilderness, you will find conflict, disruption, dismantling is all part of life. But it can also appear that sometimes life is a stage. And, you know, we are not always sure, because some keywords, again, I gave you some there earlier, are changes, no win, lose all, defeated, surrender, battling, weariness, loss, sacrifice, self-sacrifice, you know, breakdown in communication. Something here is non-negotiable. Sometimes you can't be all things to everybody. Bullies, intimidations, you know, forceful, aggressive, all those kind of things. Hello, sweetie. Hi, how are you? Are you all right? Thank you so much for saying hello. So yeah, this, you know, these are some words, some key words, you know, battles, mock battles, hostilities, abuse, stress, viciousness, arguments, smugness, gloating, people that really are antisocial, lack of conscience, bad moral compass, no integrity, or underhand. Yeah, that's me. I'm streaming on YouTube at the moment, sweetheart. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to go over onto there, it might be more stable than when we stream onto Twitch. But choice is yours. But um, it's hard to find anything to catch up on Twitch afterwards. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for saying hi. We've got a good crowd here tonight. Okay. So let's just talk about this imagery. I did say if you need to go, folks, watch the catch up. I'm going a little bit longer tonight because there's a lot to this card that I'd really like to say. Don't be nervous of it. Understand it. And I totally know that you've got so many sort of meanings here that what it can be. But when you've got other cards around supporting it or a position to say, this is their boss, and that comes up. Or in this position, this was the past. And that's what my spread does. It's crystal clear, you know, and Passionate Saggy will tell you, Carla will tell you, one of my viewers, bear with me, cushion fell off. I need my comfort. I need to be further forwards. I'm only little. So I just can't quite keep my chair comfy. So we need to know that we're dealing with a complex card here, and one that has so many different interpretations, like I've been saying to you. And so there's so many different theories supporting this as well. So really, we just look at the theories when we're looking at this tricky, tricky card. Hope, Suzanne, no problem. Just a wee bit there, as in we are coming up to the end of this now, and if you just want to sort of get the highlights, there'll be a long, probably a couple of days. Okay. Lovely to meet you, and our absolute pleasure, and many, many thanks for your comments. One thing I really love is when people actually put a comment up there. We've had a couple of inappropriate ones, but no matter. See you later. Bye. You're very welcome, and so nice to meet you. So the final interpretation of this card is going to depend entirely on whether you think it's the querent that's playing the role, or they've got a part to play in it. So that's your customer. It seldom is. And the reason I say that to you is not because you're on their side, but it's a bit like this. They will seldomly come for spiritual guidance and risk exposure. They are not the kind of people. Look, we can all turn around and hold our own. And remember what I'm saying to you. Tread carefully, because, you know, readings can be going from one extreme to the other. And it would be really wise to pull extra cards. So if you don't use my method, okay, but don't just leave it at this card. You need to know what's happened, where is this going. If you're pulling a past, present, future, and this is the first card out, and you normally do a spread of past, present, future. I don't do that at all, but you know, if that's what you do, fine, good for you. Then, yeah, you need to know what your next card is and what's going on. Remember that, you know, it links very much to, we've had heartbreak from the Three of Swords. We did that one a couple of weeks ago. And then we've had our figure in the Four of Swords laying there in what looked like a tomb or a sanitarium, recouping. So there's a story in the cards of, we've gone through heartache, then we've gone through the fact, you know, I need solitude, I need to completely gather myself, I need nothing there, and then we've got to get ready for battle. So sometimes through that introspection, even with the possibility of, you know, professional help or a place of sanctuary, like in the Four of Swords that we talked about the possibilities of, we're strong enough to face our opponents one more time. And so maybe he's got a battle ahead of him now. And maybe he's just sorted out the bullies. We don't know, do we? We have no idea who is who. It can look very staged, as if the one at the front is the bully. But what I'm saying to you is notice the stage card. Those two lines just underneath the ocean there. Actors are playing their roles. Very important roles. And there could be a hidden plot that we don't know. And things may not appear, well, they may not be as they appear to be. So in the foreground, there's a man who's standing there holding 3 swords, isn't there? And we know that he's got 2 over his shoulder and 1 on the floor. And that green garment is saying, I'm going to conquer and gain territory. And he's looking backwards and he's smirking. But that could be that we don't know what the other 2 have done. And the one that's nearest the sea, furthest away, looks so distressed and upset they could be possibly crying. And that strong wind is blowing those jagged clouds across that grey sky, saying it's very stressful and hostile and stormy in this atmosphere. That body of water represents the emotions. The mountains are symbolising the challenges and the conflict. And, you know, that mountain range is showing that, first of all, they've got to get across that great divide of the ocean, which is representing the emotions, to govern this situation before they can even start the challenge of going up that mountain. So the other 2 have either walked away in disgust or in defeat. We don't know. Have they surrendered? And it suggests that in some way they were involved, was why they're carrying swords. And they'd never hand them over, would they? Unless they were playing a part in it. Remember, it represents communication. Okay? And maybe how the mind is working and communicating. So the very fact that he's holding that sword tells us that he probably took it from them. By the look on his face, probably by force or foul means, and the owners of these swords might be injured. They may have suffered at the hands of the main figure. But what if it's the opposite? What if it's the figure at the front is the one that's actually going to sort it out, those 2, and wherever the other 2 are, because, you know what, there's 5 swords, only 3 people. So never assume what we see. And that was the biggest point I wanted to actually say. Do not go, you're a bully, you're this. Don't read it as in, like, or, it was somebody that plays mind games with you. Get rid of them. What we've got to look at is, has this person found themselves in a situation? We've all been in this. I've been in this with flatmates where they've turned around, I've gone home and it's like they've sectioned off the flat. You know, gosh, how long ago was that? 1987, something like that. 86 actually, 86, 87, showed my age. And I thought, what's going on? I've decided I don't want to look at you, I don't want to do anything. I don't know you, you know. We've just, you know, we had a flat, we had a sitting room, she had her bedroom, I had my bedroom. It was just a case of, it was a communal sort of sitting room, she divided it up. It's like, whoa, and then labelled the butter and things like that. You know, that's just a silly example of pettiness. But it was like, I can't sit around this, I'm off. So I went and found myself another flat. And it was like, I did have that kind of, you know, what do you think of that then? It's like, I don't think anything. I think it's like, time for me to go, you know, which it really is. So sometimes people want an argy-bargy in communication. They can be very angry. And, you know, sometimes you might find yourself the victim of that. You know, I'm sure if you are somebody that likes spirituality, psychic, intuitive, whatever you want to call this, you know, um, tarot cards, crystal, divination of any kind. And you're called to that, and I always have been. You know, you probably got a radar for other people to kind of go, they can feel it from you because you have empathy and sensitivity and psychic, but you can't walk around allowing yourself to be hurt by other people. You have to protect yourself too. You don't need to get your swords out, but you do need to just go, I'm not going there. I'm just not going to be drawn into this. I can't. But it can definitely do this to you in your own mind about the situation. Why is this happening to me? So do you see my point? It's a very complicated card. Are you being disturbed by people doing this and you're trying your best to not get drawn into this situation? It's very, very seldom in 30 years that I have read nearly every day of my life in some way, shape or form. It's very rare that I don't have a call or 2 or 3 or 4 or teach in a day. And all I mean is that's a lot of people, that's a lot of experience. I've never come across someone that came to me for a reading and actually said, you know, to them, you're a bully. I've never seen it as them. So please be very careful. Know that they could have been, know that, you know, sometimes it's like, again, another example I'll give you is when I was at college, I had a friend and she was just a bit mean to this girl in the class because perhaps, you know, she didn't look as trendy and as fashionable as this girl thought she should be. And she kept jabbing at her, calling her, you know, silly names, childish, you know, oh, you look like a turkey, you know, oh, you look like an egg, oh, stupid things like that. And I mean that, and it was that baby sort of thing. And this girl was really kind of like going lower and lower and lower. And I'm definitely not the kind of person that would take on somebody. And that's enough. That's enough. She can't take it. Just stop it. What's wrong with you? Stop it. And that was my first thing of, yeah, looking after the underdog. Don't do it often. But sometimes you have to turn around and get back up. So, you know, in that scenario, we're standing up for the underdog. Are we the one? Depends how you want to look at it. Which one are we out of those 3 characters, and where are the other 2? Yeah. So nothing physical in this card. This is not about punch-ups. There is a card that's about that, but we'll meet that much further down the line. The secret is in the suit. This is mental. This is where we go, oh, this is doing overtime. And, you know, we can definitely think that our mind can be responsible for far more chaos than if somebody came along and come and push, get out of my way. Who knows? But this can do just as much harm. So yeah, it can be psychological mind games. It can be very difficult. Very complex card. Do not assume you have to read it with what we're saying. This is what could have happened to them. This is all the possibilities of that. But it's usually in the background effects of the person that you are reading for, because it's very seldom that a perpetrator is a bully or somebody that's horrible will come, spiritual advice, knowing damn well that you could say to them, oi, yeah? So just be careful. That's my point, okay? Any questions, anybody? A long one tonight. I told you this one would be, whew. And yeah, you know, after the swords, go and decompress. You know, I've already walked my dog, so I was all ready for this. I washed my face with cold water before I came on, and then put my gilded the lily, as it were, so you didn't see my tiredness after preparing this and getting everything I wanted to say in some sort of order that I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. I did do a bit more, but I think that's enough. But the energy of the swords can be incredibly hard for us to actually we can be affected. So get yourself a crystal, go out for a walk, like behind me, and just go and decompress. Until next time, which will be Tuesday, when we'll be looking at this card again, Swords again, but it'll be the Five of Swords, and we'll be doing tarot twist by fusing it together with the Major Arcana card to show you what it really means. So all about this card tonight. Let's show you how to use it on Tuesday, 5 o'clock, with me, Tarot with Anne-Marie. Please subscribe so that you are notified when we come on, just in case you forget. And yeah, then you've got, you can find anything we've done in the past. As in, I'll say we, me. Till next time, everyone, take care of yourselves and have a beautiful weekend. And yeah, sorry about the noise of the doggies, but yeah, they were joining in. Oh, you are welcome, Passionate Saji. It's a hard card, an awful lot to it, and easy to assume. But I think it's one of those that we can have lots of chats about in the future. I think people really came to this one tonight, and I'm so grateful out of all the cards, because it can be something where people go, I'm not bothered about what I could say wrong. I think I might just not read it or not use it. No. Lots of different examples. Sorry, they were my personal examples, but I certainly won't talk about someone else. I would never use someone as an example if it was of a personal reading that was inappropriate. If it's a shiny one, yeah, you know, you can turn around and go, oh, that was great, they had a wonderful time. But swords are heavy. I get that, okay? Oh my gosh, we have it all here. We've got fish last week eating each other, and I totally get it. Mine do that all the time, Zoe. Hold on a minute, let me move your comment over here. Your dogs think... Zoe's dog is obviously listening to the video and thinks that my dogs in the background, sorry about that, people, but, you know, are our family. Zoe's saying that her dogs go, where are they? I can't find them. My pleasure. Anyway, have a great all weekend, everybody, and enjoy something nice to decompress after the heaviness of the Five of Swords. But don't be nervous about it. It's a fact of life, and the more we know about it, the better it is for all of us, isn't it? So, see you soon.